How are you guys doing? Today is Friday, February 18th, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review yesterday's Elite matchups and performances from Thursday, February 17th. Taking a quick look at where we are in the second half of the college and professional basketball seasons. We're also in the second half of the Europa League and Champions League seasons as we are now in the 2022 calendar year. We are also in the third week of the 2022 Winter Olympics that are taking place in Beijing. And of course, with that said, I'm going to start off with college basketball for the moment, starting with the third-ranked basketball team in the nation. The Arizona Wildcats hosted the unranked Oregon State Beavers. Arizona beat Oregon State 83-69. The Wildcats won this game by 14 after outscoring the Beavers by 12 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the third-ranked Arizona Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting forward, as well as Tubelis. He finished with 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals in 24 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Their starting guard, Benedict Mathurin from Canada, finished with 20 points and 2 steals in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field. He would go on to shoot a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line as well. With this win, the third-ranked Arizona Wildcats are 23-2. They are 13-1 in the Pac-12. They are the only team in the Pac-12 with less than 4 losses, so they have the best record in the conference right now. And with this loss, the unranked Oregon State Beavers are 3-21. They are 1-13 in the Pac-12. They are holding the worst record in the entire conference. Now, jumping to Los Angeles, the 13th ranked UCLA Bruins hosted the unranked Washington State Cougars. UCLA beat Washington State 76-56. The Bruins won this game by 20 after outscoring Washington State by 10 in both halves. On the winning end of this matchup, the 13th ranked UCLA Bruins were led in scoring by their starting guard, Johnny Juzang. Juzang finished with 19 points in 19 minutes. He shot 6 for 9 from the field, a perfect 3 for 3 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their starting guard, Jalen Clark, finished with 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals in 34 minutes. He shot 7 for 11 from the field, and with this win, the 13th ranked UCLA Bruins are now 18-5. They are now 10-4 in the Pac-12. That is the third best record in the Pac-12 so far this year, as they are sitting just one win behind USC, and they're also sitting behind Arizona. With this loss, the unranked Washington State Cougars are 14-11. They are now 7-7 in the Pac-12. Now, jumping out to Houston, the 14th ranked Houston Cougars hosted the unranked UCF Knights. Houston beat Central Florida 70-52. They won this game by 18 after outscoring the Knights by 6 in the first half and by 12 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 14th ranked Houston Cougars were led in scoring by their starting guard, Taze Moore. He finished with 14 points and 7 rebounds in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 11 from the field, and he made his only free throw attempt of the day. With this win, the 14th ranked Houston Cougars are 21-4. They are 10-2 in the American Athletic Conference. They are the only team with less than 3 losses in the AAC so far. So right now they have the number 1 record. With this loss, the unranked UCF Knights are 15-9. They are now 7-7 in the conference. Jumping out to Los Angeles again, the 17th ranked USC Trojans hosted the unranked Washington Huskies. USC beat Washington 79-69. They won by 10 after outscoring Washington by 17 in the first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 17th ranked Trojans were led in scoring by their starting forward, Chavez Goodwin. He finished with 24 points and 9 rebounds. He did all of this in 30 minutes. He shot 11 for 14 from the field. With this win, the 17th ranked USC Trojans are 22-4. They are 11-4 in the Pac-12. That is the second best record in the conference, right behind Arizona. And with this loss, the unranked Washington Huskies are 13-11. They are now 8-6 in the Pac-12. Last but not least, looking at the 21st ranked team in the nation, the Murray State Racers hosted the unranked Austin Peay Governors. Murray State beat Austin Peay 91-56. They won this matchup by 35 after outscoring the Governors by 26 in the first half and then by 9 in the second. On the winning end of this matchup, the 21st ranked Murray State Racers were led in scoring by their starting forward KJ Williams. He finished with 25 points and 7 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 12 for 15 from the field. And with this win, the 21st ranked Murray State Racers are now 25-2. They are 15-0 in the Ohio Valley Conference. They are undefeated. Of course, they are the only team that has less than 2 losses in their conference this year, giving them the best record outright. And with this loss, the Austin Peay Governors are 10-15. They are now 6-9 in the Ohio Valley Conference. So that is what college basketball is looking like after yesterday. And there are no ranked basketball games that are really happening today. Taking a look at what's going on in the NBA, jumping out in Charlotte, the Hornets hosted the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat beat the Charlotte Hornets 111-107 in 2 overtimes, as they outscored Charlotte 24-20 in those overtime periods combined. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Charlotte Hornets were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Miles Bridges. He finished with 29 points, 11 rebounds as well in 50 minutes as he shot 10 for 21 from the field. He would also go on to shoot 6 for 7 from the foul line. Their starting power forward, PJ Washington, finished with 15 points and 14 rebounds in 49 minutes. He would go on to shoot 6 for 15 from the field and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, LaMelo Ball, would finish with a triple-double on the day. He had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists, and 5 turnovers. He fouled out in 39 minutes as he shot 5 for 15 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Miami Heat were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Kyle Lowry. Lowry finished with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, all in 46 minutes. He shot 9 for 16 from the field, 6 for 11 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard, Duncan Robinson, finished with 21 points and 5 assists in 44 minutes. He shot 6 for 13 from the field. All of his attempts were from 3. He was 6 for 13 from 3. And he shot a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. Their elite starting small forward, Jimmy Butler, finished with 15 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks in 51 minutes. He shot 5 for 24 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting power forward, PJ Tucker, finished with 15 points and 10 rebounds in 44 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting center, Bam Adebayo, finished with 15 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks, all in 44 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field, and he shot 5 for 10 from the foul line. With this win, the Miami Heat are now 38-21. That is the best record in the East, as they are now tied with the Chicago Bulls. The Heat have now won 6 of their last 10 games. They, alongside the Bulls, sit 2.5 games ahead of the third place Philadelphia 76ers. The fourth place, they're also tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're also sitting 2.5 games ahead of the fifth place Milwaukee Bucks as well. With this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are now 29-31. That is the 9th best record in the Eastern Conference. They've lost their last 3 games, which is the second longest active losing streak in the East, tied with the Knicks behind the Orlando Magic. The Hornets have lost 9 of their last 10 games. They sit 9.5 games behind the first place Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls out east. Jumping out to Brooklyn, the Nets hosted the Washington Wizards. The Wizards beat the Nets 117-103 in this makeup game. The Nets would win this game by 14 after they outscored the Nets by 14 in the fourth quarter, as it was a tie game going in. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Brooklyn Nets were led in scoring by their starting point guard out of Australia, Patty Mills. Patty Mills would finish with 22 points and 3 steals in 30 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, 5 for 7 from 3, and he shot 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their shooting guard off the bench, Cam Thomas, finished with 20 points in 28 minutes. He shot 7 for 17 from the field, and he shot 3 for 4 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Washington Wizards were led in scoring by their power forward off the bench, Rui Hachimura. He finished with 20 points in 27 minutes. He shot 8 for 15 from the field, a perfect 2 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the Washington Wizards are now 27-31. That is the 5th worst record in the Eastern Conference. They've won 4 of their last 10 games, and they sit a full game behind the 10-seed Atlanta Hawks, behind that last play-in spot out east. With this loss, the Brooklyn Nets are now 31-28. That is the 8th best record in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. They sit 7 games behind the first seed Miami Heat and Chicago Bulls out east after they were formerly a team that held the lead in the conference. Jumping out to New Orleans, the Pelicans hosted the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks beat the Pelicans 125-118. The Mavericks won this game by 7 after they outscored the Pelicans by 18 in the first quarter and by 11 in the third. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown New Orleans Pelicans were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, CJ McCollum. He finished with 38 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and 2 steals in 40 minutes. He shot 14 for 26 from the field, 7 for 10 from 3, and 3 for 5 from the foul line. Their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas, finished with 16 points and 18 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field. Their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Brandon Ingram, finished with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in 35 minutes. He shot 6 for 21 from the field. On the winning end of this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard, Luka Doncic. He would go on to finish with 49 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists, as well as 5 turnovers in 38 minutes. He shot 17 for 35 from the field, 7 for 14 from 3, and 8 for 12 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard out of Villanova, Jalen Brunson, finished with 23 points and 6 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their power forward off the bench, Maxi Kleber, finished with 20 points in 26 minutes. He shot 7 for 10 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Dallas Mavericks are now 35-24. That is the 5th best record in the Western Conference. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They sit 13.5 games behind the first seed Phoenix Suns out west. With this loss, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 23-36. That is the 4th worst record in the Western Conference. They've lost their last 2 games. They've lost 5 of their last 10. They now sit 2 full games behind the 10 seed Portland Trailblazers out west. Jumping out to Milwaukee, the defending NBA champs, Milwaukee Bucks, hosted the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers beat the Bucks 123-120. They won this matchup by 3 after outscoring the Bucks by 11 in the second quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Bucks were led in scoring by their elite starting power forward, last year's NBA Finals MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Greek Freak would finish with 32 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals in 39 minutes. He shot 13 for 23 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their starting point guard out of UCLA, Jrue Holiday, will go on to finish with 24 points and 5 rebounds in 38 minutes. He shot 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and he shot 5 for 8 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers, or I guess before I go on, but last but not least on the Bucks, their all-star starting small forward, Chris Middleton, finished with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 6 for 20 from the field, 2 for 12 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup now, the Philadelphia 76ers were led in scoring by their elite starting center, Joel Embiid. He would go on to finish with 42 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 turnovers, all in 37 minutes. He shot 14 for 21 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3, and he shot 11 for 14 from the foul line. With this win, the Philadelphia 76ers are 35-23. That is the 3rd best record in the Eastern Conference. They've won 6 of their last 10 games. They now are tied with the Cavaliers for the 3rd best record in the East, as they sit 2.5 games behind the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls, who are tied for the best record in the conference. With this loss, the Milwaukee Bucks are now 36-24. They are now holding on to the fifth best record in the Eastern Conference, as they have one more win and one more loss than the Sixers and the Cavaliers. They sit 2.5 games behind the Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls as well. Last but not least, jumping out to the Crypto.com arena, the Los Angeles Clippers hosted the Houston Rockets. The Clippers beat the Rockets 142-111. They won this game by 31 after outscoring the Rockets by 9 in the first quarter, 12 in the first half, and then by 16 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Houston Rockets were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, last year's number 2 overall pick, Jalen Green. He finished with 21 points in 31 minutes. He shot 8 for 15 from the field and 5 for 10 from 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown LA Clippers were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Marcus Morris Sr. He would go on to finish with 27 points and 5 rebounds in 25 minutes. He shot 7 for 13 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line. Their shooting guard off the bench out of Duke, Luke Kennard, finished with 25 points and 2 steals in 23 minutes. He shot 8 for 11 from the field. All of his makes came from 3. He was 8 for 9 from 3, and he made his only free throw attempt of the night. Their starting shooting guard, Terrence Mann, finished with 20 points and 8 rebounds in 28 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field. He made his only three-pointer of the day, and he made all 3 of his free throws on the night. Their starting center, Ivica Zubac, finished with 13 points and 10 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 6 for 10 from the field and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, Reggie Jackson, finished with 12 points and 14 assists in 26 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field for the night. With this win, the Los Angeles Clippers are 30-31. That is the 8th best record in the Western Conference. They've won 5 of their last 10 games. They now sit 19.5 games behind the Western Conference leading Phoenix Suns. And of course, with this loss, the Houston Rockets are now 15-43. That is the worst record in the Western Conference. They've now lost their last 7 games. That is the longest active losing streak in the NBA at the moment. They've lost 9 of their last 10, and they are currently sitting 9.5 games behind the 10-seed Portland Trail Blazers out west. So that's what the NBA is looking like following yesterday's matchups. Now taking a look at what is going on today, because it's Friday. There are actually going to be no scheduled matchups for today, as the NBA All-Star game, or the All-Star weekend, is actually starting to pick up. The All-Star game itself is going to happen on Sunday, so of course that's going to be a little bit of not much going on, especially this weekend, but of course we'll navigate you through this one day at a time. Taking a look at what's going on in the world of soccer now, starting off in Europa League, because that was the only league that was really seeing teams face off in this playoff round. Barcelona was able to face off against Napoli, and in this first leg in Barcelona, this game would end up as a 1-1 draw. Napoli's lone goal came from Zielinski in the 79th minute, as Barcelona's lone goal came from Ferran Torres in the 59th minute. Borussia Dortmund would host Rangers, and Rangers would end up beating Borussia Dortmund 4-2. Rangers would end up taking a 2-0 lead in the very first half. They would score 3 goals before Jude Bellingham would score his first goal for Dortmund. They're a elite English midfielder. And then after Dortmund scored an own goal and Rangers was up 4-1, Dortmund's second goal will come from Rafael Guerreiro in the 82nd minute. So now Rangers leads Dortmund 4-2 on aggregates. Taking a look now at Portugal, FC Porto would host Lazio. In this first leg matchup, Porto would beat Lazio 2-1, as it would get a brace from Antonio Martinez. He would get a goal in the 37th and the 49th minute after Lazio scored its lone goal of the game. RB Leipzig would end up drawing with Real Sociedad 2-2. Leipzig's 2 goals would come from Nkunku and Forsberg after Sociedad scored their second goal in the 64th minute. As Sociedad would break the 1-1 tie in the 64th minute, and then Leipzig would end up tying it on a penalty kick in the 82nd minute. But that is really what happened within this round. And also, not to mention, Sevilla was able to beat Dynamo Zagreb 3-1 with goals from Rakitic, Ocampos, and then Anthony Martial. Martial scoring his first goal with Sevilla. Taking a look at what's in store for soccer today, looking at French Ligue 1, Lille is going to face off against Metz. Lille is the reigning Ligue 1 champs, and right now they are coming into this matchup holding the 10th best record in Ligue 1. A win could actually see them jump pretty far ahead, so of course they're hoping for the win to temporarily jump into about 6th place. In Italy, in Serie A, Juventus is going to host Torino at 2:45, as this is, of course, the Turin Derby. Coming into this matchup, Juventus is holding the 4th best record in Serie A. A win here wouldn't necessarily move them forward, but of course it would keep them a good arm's length ahead of 5th place Atalanta, as Torino holds the 10th best record in Italy. And that's everything I have for you as it comes to soccer. Taking a look now at what was going on yesterday in the Olympics. Yesterday was the 16th day of full-on event and the 13th day of medaling, as we are in the 3rd week of the Olympics. The Winter Olympic Games in Beijing, China. Jumping first to alpine skiing in the women's alpine combined slalom, the gold medal went to Michelle Gizin of Switzerland. Switzerland would also take home the silver, as Italy took home the bronze. In figure skating in the women's single skating free, the gold medal went to Anna Sherbakova of the Russian Olympic Committee, as she was, of course, the athlete that there's a lot of controversy around because her heart medicine was banned by the Olympic Committee, but she was allowed to compete still. The Russian Olympic Committee would also take home the silver and the bronze, and Japan would take home the bronze in this event. Not to mention that also in the women's ski cross big final, the gold medal will go to Sweden, as Sandra Näslund would take it. Canada would take the silver, and Germany would take home the bronze. In the Nordic combined, the gold medal went to Norway. In the Team Gundersen large hill cross-country event, Germany took home the silver, Japan took home the bronze. And then in the women's 1,000-meter speed skating event, the gold medal went to Miho Takagi of Japan. The silver went to Netherlands, and then the bronze would go to the United States. Taking a look at the countries that currently lead in medals, Norway currently leads the way with 14 medals. Germany has 10. The United States and the People's Republic of China are tied for 3rd with 8 gold medals. Sweden and Switzerland are tied for 5th with 7 gold medals. Austria and the Netherlands are tied for 7th with 6 gold medals. And right now, the Russian Olympic Committee and France are tied for 9th with 5 gold medals. And also taking a look at the nations that lead in overall medals. Right now, Norway has the most total medals, along with having the most gold medals. They have 31 total. They have 14 gold, 8 silver, and 9 bronze for the moment. Right now, the Russian Olympic Committee has the second most medals, as they have 27. They have 5 golds. They have 9 silver medals, which lead the pack, and they also have 13 gold. They are tied with Canada for the most bronze medals in the Winter Olympics so far. Canada has the 3rd most medals in this Olympic Games, as they have 4 gold medals, 6 silver medals, and 13 bronze. Germany is sitting 4th in the world with 22 total medals. They have 10 gold medals, which is second most in the Olympics. They have 7 silver medals, which is tied for the 3rd most, and they currently have 5 bronze medals. The United States is now 5th in total medals, as they have 8 gold medals, which is 3rd amongst nations with gold medals. They are 8th in silver, or they have 8 silver, which is tied for 2nd amongst nations with silver behind Russia. And of course, the United States has 5 bronze medals. Austria and Japan are both tied with 6. Austria has 6 gold medals, 7 silver medals, and 4 bronze medals. Japan has 3 gold medals, 5 silver medals, and 9 bronze. Italy is sitting 8th with 16 medals. Sweden and the Netherlands are tied for 9th with 15 medals. China, Switzerland, and France are tied for 11th with 14 medals, as at the moment there are 13 nations that have double-digit amount of medals so far in this Olympic Games. And with that said, that's everything that I have as we are navigating through the world of sports one day at a time. I want to thank the ESPN, NCAA, NBA, FIFA, and Olympics websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I would need, of course, for this episode. With that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 24 minutes of this piece. I do apologize for anyone whose names I butchered while making this video. And with that said, I will come back tomorrow on Saturday, February 19th, once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done. And until then, I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.